The 750 Ti, beloved by many a gamer and evidently still is, with it taking 8th place in the Steam Hardware Survey for April 2019. That's one place ahead of the 1080. The card I have is a Gigabyte WinFirst card. This card has 2 HDMI and 2 DVI ports, and it also has 2 big fans, one of which hangs off the edge because of how small the card is, and 4 screws holding on the heatsink. Now, I didn't realize this when I bought the card for $70 ship, but it has a 6-pin power header, so I had to swap the power supply, which wasn't a big deal as I had one lying around doing nothing, so, whatever. Getting the new PSU in this Acer TC865 kinda sucked, as I had to take the front cover off to get to the DVD drive, then to get to the 24 connector, or 24 pin connector. To top it all off, the DVD drive is a SATA Slimline drive, so I need an adapter to get full-size SATA power to it, so it's not working right now. Ugh. Anyways, the PSU is a 500 watt Rosewell, which is plenty, and that was in my brother's PC, but as part of a debugging process, it was replaced with a different one, and the power supply wasn't the issue in that problem. Anyways, I digress. The 750 Ti fit like a charm, and I got the Nvidia drivers installed and running. This was the longest I've ever seen Windows 10 take to boot. I thought for sure I had bricked this computer in some way, but I didn't, because it did boot and I was able to get the drivers installed just fine. But oh man, that feeling was terrible. Now to the benchmarks. First up is Minecraft, and as expected, it destroyed this game, getting well over 60 FPS, even with 32 chunks and maximum graphics. Now this is 1.14.2, and Optifine is not out for this version, so that means no shaders. But I'll revisit this game when it's released and try some shaders, and these shaders bring my 380 to its knees. Next is The Sims 4, and wowee, this game is optimized. Ultra settings accept uncompressed sim textures because, 2 gigabytes of VRAM and I didn't want to restart the game. This card destroyed this game with facts and logic, getting at or over 60 FPS. The next Need for Speed Most Wanted, the new one, not the old one. With most settings at high except anti-aliasing, which I believe I left at 2x or off. This game ran from the high 50s to low 40s. With some minor tweaking, this game could easily run at a lock 60, which is the max for this game. Even during this gnarly donut, it maintained playable frame rates, and even though there was tons and tons and tons of smoke on the screen, I'm really impressed with this card in this game. It's the best I've ever seen this game run. Moving right on to Battlefield 4, which ran at 60 FPS on Operation Walkers with high settings. Now, there are only like 3 people on the server, so do expect that to be lower with intense battles. I couldn't find a populated server that I had a good connection to. RIP. Now on to the newest AAA game here, Doom 4. This game gave me hell on Vulkan, showing that this card performs like ass with Vulkan. I do have the latest driver, and on my R9 380X, I saw a massive performance boost on Vulkan, but not here. The OpenGL renderer worked far better than getting 60 FPS with low settings and a 90-degree field of view cut on a scrub. Due to the poor Vulkan performance, I can tell y'all right away that the Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is a Vulkan-only game, will not run very well on this card. But can it run Crysis? Yes it can. At high settings, no anti-aliasing, 1080p, it got around 50 to 70 frames per second, no noticeable stutters to speak of. This card performed really well on the Crysis test. Of course, it's also from 2014, 7 years after Crysis came out, so it's kind of to be expected, but with anti-aliasing, this game can be quite demanding. So, should you buy a 750 Ti in 2019? I'm gonna say no. Well, really, it depends. What games are you playing? If you're playing older or less demanding games and you're on a tight budget, maybe. However, if your PSU does not have a 6-pin, then absolutely get one of these. Perhaps a Zotac version without a 6-pin header, because this card will beat a GT 1030. Now, if you can afford it, the 1050 will smoke the 750 Ti, so do keep that in mind. If you can find a 750 Ti for 50 to 60 bucks or less shipped, then go for it. Otherwise, look elsewhere. In my experience, AMD cards seem to be really good for the money, especially on the used market. So I would recommend looking at both sides of the aisle, not just one brand or the other. Also, can I just say that the Nvidia drivers look the same as they did in 1999, whereas the AMD Adrenalin drivers look really nice and don't require an email address to record gameplay? Anyways guys, thank you very much for watching and sticking around to the end, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Good night, or good day, wherever it is. I don't know.